In a world where one woman tries to start a podcast,
How will I ever do this on my own?
she thought she would have to get expensive equipment.
What? I can do all of this on a free app?
She thought she would have to find creation tools all over the internet.
You mean it can all be contained in an app on my phone and computer?
She thought she would have to do all her own distribution.
You mean to tell me this app is going to send it to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all those other platforms for me?
She thought she would never make any money.
I don't have to wait for a minimum listenership to monetize?
She thought that she would have to find all kinds of different equipment and pieces.
But I'm going to download this free Anchor app and get started today.
Visit Anchor.fm and download the free Anchor app to be just like her, the ultimate podcaster.
Hello and welcome to the Lou Review. This is Rosa, your host, and today I am here with Jared Fox Matthews.
Hey.
And I don't think I can describe you succinctly. I need you to do that for me.
Okay.
So, can you tell me, how did you get into the food industry?
Wow, I got into the food industry when I was 15 years old. My first job was at Dairy Queen, and I dropped a blizzard on a customer, my very first blizzard I ever made.
Classic.
So, yeah, how about that? So, I guess that's what...
It wasn't very solid in there.
Yeah, I think it was actually my first day, and I was like, you know what, maybe the service industry is not for me. But that was very short-lived. I started making pretty fantastic blizzards after that.
Okay.
So,
Every time you turn them over, they didn't fall out.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. That was
the goal.
the first and last one. And I'll never forget, it was an M&M blizzard, and they had chocolate syrup in it. I put too much chocolate syrup, which made it liquefied. So, so I learned a little bit about pastries that first day. So, yeah, but after that, I actually worked there when I was 15 for like a summer. But then all throughout high school, I ran a restaurant called Figaro's Pizza. It was actually really good. It was in Louisville, Kentucky. It was in Louisville, the Eastwood Cutoff, Eastwood, Kentucky. So it was an independently owned pizza place, and we made our own pastas and pizzas. It was very good, owned by an old or an ex-pro football player. So, he just kind of So me and all my buddies in high school ran it from my sophomore year to senior year. So that was when I really got into kind of learning how to manage, a restaurant. It was small, not very busy, but that was where I got my first love for it. Making the pizzas, making in the kitchen, really getting my hands dirty. That was cool. So. Yeah, and then went off to college, bartended at a place called Two Keys Tavern. So that's where I learned to bartend.
Were you in college for culinary school or business?
No. I was in the college for partying. It's actually a pretty good bachelor degree.
That's a really popular major.
Yeah, it was so good. Like I think it took me about 8 years to get through college.
Did you ever pay anybody to take any of your classes?
No. You know what? I never did.
Because you're not an athlete.
That's right. That's right. I never did do that.
So you're perfectly respectable partying in college.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I think my dad said I should be a doctor by now with the amount of schooling, but
But then you would end up with a doctor level of debt, and who wants that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree.
I love doctors. I'm a nurse. We get along great.
Right.
So, but it's a different world of hurt.
Oh, yeah. I bet. Yeah.
So you're in the bartending in college.
Yeah, so I bartended there and also worked for a restaurant called Big Blue Martini, which is still there in Lexington, and helped with their martini menu. That's where I got my kind of, love for the craft cocktail and bartending. Two Keys was more of a college bar, so it was just fast-paced slinging. Then I moved to Louisville and bartended at a restaurant called Harper's. So
what year was that?
That was 2000. Carry the 2.
Is that how the math
5,
works?
probably.
Okay.
Yeah, probably 5. Yeah. So I came back here and I bartended there, and it was great. Long story short. So, a guy saw me bartending and said he was opening up a bar and wanted a young guy to promote it.
Okay.
So what do you do at the age of 25 to promote? And you call your buddies and say, hey, I'm going to be running a bar, and come up and hang out with me. So we did that, and I had some buddies in bands, and that's kind of so in my earlier years was mainly towards, bartending and music, but I always have loved cooking. So
Are you a musician?
I'm not a musician. No, I'm not. I can sing pretty good in the shower, though.
Oh, okay. But
That's what
nobody
I've
will
heard.
ever know.
Yeah, right. Nobody's ever told me that either, but
But nobody's told you otherwise.
Right.
Okay, there you go. Irrefutable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I did, but I've always cooked. I love to cook. I'm from Louisiana. My parents taught me kind of how to cook Cajun food.
And why did you move to Louisville?
So my
Did you just head in the wrong direction?
No.
You typed in Lou and you ended up here?
Right, exactly. So my dad worked for Humana, and we
Oh.
moved pretty much every 7 years. So I was born in Louisiana, lived in Mobile, Alabama, then moved here to Louisville, and actually my senior year, my dad was about ready to transfer again, and I was like, transferring my senior year.
Of high school.
Yeah, so he ended up retiring early, so
Oh.
so that I could finish my senior year in Louisville.
He did that
So,
for you?
He did. I think that's what he said. I think he wanted to play golf more, honestly.
You could still thank him. That's
Right.
probably a good move. But so you went to college and then you came back to Louisville.
Yeah, so
Because
I went to
of your family?
Yeah, so I went to Lexington. I went to Lexington for college. I actually, also ran a restaurant there called Columbia Steakhouse. So
okay.
when I got out of college, I stayed there for a while and helped the guy who owned that run that place.
So it wasn't immediately after you graduated that you came back here?
No. I stayed down there for a while. Got in a bad relationship, you know how that goes. Needed to be about family, so
Yeah.
moved back here, and then long story short, with Diamonds, I mean, that was a guy hired me to help promote it and basically run it, and that turned into like a 14 year stint. And
So you have worked at the location where the Fox Inn is now.
Yeah.
You just rebranded it.
Yep, that's exactly
You just
what
bought
happened.
it from the owner you've been working for?
I didn't buy it from him. I took over the space. So, but
What does that mean? Sorry.
let's just say he decided to close it, Diamonds, and I was pretty close with the landlord. And,
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So you didn't buy the business.
no, I actually had stepped away from the diamond business to concentrate on the restaurants, and I got the opportunity. And of course, everybody was like, we built a pretty cool thing with Diamonds. I mean, the music scene was huge. It was known for the music scene. We opened up a second location where we were doing national concerts. So, when I did step away, that was a little bit tough. And it was only for a short period of time. I think it was for 2 months, maybe not even 2 months, so, but it was tough because, not having to deal with it, not dealing with the music was going to be tough. It was going to be a tough hit. I love the restaurants and they're great. But that was a big part of my life, so.
Yeah. So what are your other restaurant endeavors that you have been working
So
on as well?
we opened up a street food place, which was something I love. I love street food from all over the world. So that's kind of was the concept. It was a bar that had street food from everywhere, from Thailand, from Korea to Mexican to you name it. It was neat. But we opened right before the pandemic, so it never really got its bearings, and my partner ended up passing away. Unexpectedly.
Sorry.
It was unexpectedly. So it just kind of got hard. I had 2 restaurants going on. I was still in the Diamonds, and then trying to run that place. It needed too much. So I'm not saying that concept is dead, though, because I
Right.
definitely want to try that again.
You just had a lot of obstacles.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
Yep.
And it just kind of was like, that's not the time for this right now.
Yeah, wasn't time. So
Yeah.
So and then of course we have I have Lulu and Equus and Black Rabbit, which is an extension of Equus.
We are in the Black Rabbit right now recording. So this is your restaurant.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yeah.
And now, was this your concept?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
What is the menu concept?
So the menu concept actually, we had Equus and Jacks, which I purchased from the legendary Dean Corbett. So it was awesome and great, and wanted to keep his legacy going with this place because I love Jacks. I used to actually hang out here before I owned it. I loved hanging out there.
When you wanted to mix it up from diamonds.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, as I got older, it was a great play. The play. It was funny because I'd always come here to watch sports, which people were like, "You came here to watch sports?"
Oh, did they?
Yeah. Okay. And I'll tell you why, because nobody came here to watch sports. and in Jacks, you have your own TV.
Okay.
And you can get good food and good wine. And, you know, like my wife loves to drink wine. So we would sit there on the couch, have our own TV.
Nice.
And Jonathan Torilla, who was the maitre d' at the time, used to turn up the volume, and I could sit back there and watch it. So anyways, when the opportunity presented itself to purchase this place, and Dean was kind of saying that either I was going to buy it or he was going to sell it to Havana Rumbas and get it out. And I was like, man, you can't. This place is too legendary, too many great experiences. So we did that. And then we opened up the Black Rabbit, which my wife is probably going to kill me because I called her 12 days before they were about ready to open the restaurants back up and said, hey, I got an idea. And she said, if you tell me you're going to open up a restaurant during a pandemic, I'm going to kill you. I said, well, I am.
Yeah.
And she's like, when? I was like, in 12 days, we're going to do this. So we literally transformed, because it was an easy transformation because it was part of the Equus restaurant. But I was able to separate it and kind of run a separate business. So we basically just kind of, in 12 days, came up with a cocktail list, transformed these rooms and put some couches in here and got some cool furniture and decor, and now it's a speakeasy. So,
and I've been here before because you hosted a Yelp Elite event. So things like that really give visibility to something as like you want it to be secretive, but not so secretive nobody comes, because that doesn't help, does it?
Right, exactly. Well, and that's the thing. Like, we promote it on social media, but like it's been a huge hit. Like it's definitely been. It's definitely kind of brought the new generation of foodies and people who love wine and cocktails. And
velvet couches.
And velvet couches, right.
Which we're sitting in right now. Nobody's complaining.
Right. Yeah. So, it's been neat. It's been like I said, we promote on social media, but not too much. Like, and now it's cool because like word of mouth. And people are like, wait, where is that? I don't know about it. It's kind of a hidden entrance. You got to find it.
It's an adorable entrance. Oh my goodness! So when you come in the side door at Equus, how do I say it? Is it Equus?
It's Equus. Yeah, you said it right. Yeah,
Equus.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm not used to saying that because I say I'm going to the Black Rabbit. Is what I say. Because you come up to this black bookcase and it's got this cute little painting of a rabbit, and you knock on the bookcase and then they ask you for the password.
Yeah.
And I had to say, I have to meet with Jared. So you better let me in.
That's a pretty good password.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it should work. So they let me in, thankfully.
Yeah.
And ushered me back here like it was a big secret, like I hadn't been here before.
Good. Yeah, right. Yeah.
So your staff did a good job maintaining that.
Well, good. The secret. Okay, that's good. Yeah, it's funny because we've talked about, like, because people get kind of confused on where it is, like putting something out there, but it's kind of neat having that. Like, and the speakeasies are supposed to be hidden. So, but it's funny because my kitchen guys are like, man, if we get one more person, they come around the building, go into the kitchen, so they're looking for the Black Rabbit. So it is cool. That sometimes it has its weird moments, but
it's all right.
But yeah,
it's part of the experience.
It's neat too, and it's like you walk in, and of course you got the elevator there that goes up to the offices, and then a bookshelf. And people are like, "What do I do here?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it's fun. It's cool. It's neat. There's something, I don't think there's much like this on the East End over here. All the cool things seem to be downtown.
That is so true. I live in Middletown, and we were just bemoaning the fact that we do not have enough nice restaurants out in the East End. And in Middletown, we have to come so close to downtown. Like, because we consider, like, St. Matthews is so close to downtown, right? And you're like, well, we're far from downtown.
Yeah.
It's all relative, right?
Yeah.
But you're right, there's so many so close together downtown, and so you kind of got this little area to yourself here.
Yeah, it's neat. I mean, it's the neighborhood, so people in the neighborhood can go to a cool place and then go home. They can do it during the weekday.
Now you own Lulu as well?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. When did that come into play?
So Lulu came into play. That was actually the first restaurant I purchased. Whenever I was working at Diamonds forever, and I always knew I knew forever I wanted to open up a restaurant because that is my passion. Like passion is food, cocktails, and music.
Once you got over customer service at Dairy Queen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I knew I never wanted to go to the pastry business. I just wasn't good at that. So that's why I'm a pastry chef. So. But so Clay Wallace was a good buddy of mine, and he did a lot of cooking in Louisiana. So me and him we used to cook together and do some different dishes and talk about it. So anyways, he was kind of ready to get out. He was ready to do a real estate journey, and I love Cafe Lulu's. It used to be, Cafe Lulu. It still is Cafe Lulu.
I never got to experience that. I'm from Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It would. I mean, a lot of the dishes on there are still Clay's, but we also put some new ones on there. So
what is the menu idea for Lulu?
It's Cajun Italian with a Mediterranean twist.
Okay.
And so what I always say, it's the most unique restaurant in town. It really is. We mix.
Utterly delicious.
Yeah. Well, thank you. People say we have the best gumbo, and then people love the carbonara. So, you get your Italian, your Cajun. And then we recently, I got inspired by going to Chicago, put a loose Chicago deep dish.
That was the first deep dish pizza I ever had. My
really?
husband loved his experience in Chicago.
Okay.
And so during the pandemic, actually, as a treat for him one day, I came and got that when there was no in-person dining, I think. And so brought that home, and he was like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. So now since then, we have been to Chicago, and I got to try one actually in Chicago.
Yeah.
But that was my first experience.
All right.
It was very
cool.
similar.
How about that? We brought Chicago to Louisville. So. Yeah, and that was that. There was nobody in town who had legit deep dish Chicago pizza. I was like, wow, there's nowhere. And that was before Jake and Elwood's opened up. So yeah, it was funny when we first did it. It kind of sat on the menu, like it was there. People just kind of didn't. It was during the pandemic when I was posting pictures of it. It took off. We went to selling.
Amazing what a difference that makes.
It was crazy. We went from selling like 5 to 8 a week to like selling about 20 to 30 a day. So it was nuts.
They're exponential increase.
I think people were, they were sitting at home. They wanted some comfort food, and that pizza that's definitely comfort food. So
hey, they say a picture's worth 1,000 words. It was written on the menu the whole time. They just needed to see it was there.
Exactly right.
You can't expect people to read anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be nice, but you can't expect it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yep. Show pictures. So yeah, that's
And what is the food concept for Equus Jacks?
So it's continental cuisine. So it's basically cuisine from all over the world. So
that's super vague.
Yeah, it is. I know. You know what?
It really means it's whatever I feel like right now.
And that's why I like it. Because we talked about I had talked to the chefs. We're like, man, do we need to? We talked about picking a cuisine, like whatever, Italian or whatever it may be. But I'm like, it's kind of nice being all over the board. And the chefs actually just came out.
There's a lot of versatility there.
Yeah, and you can do.
So do you do a lot of rotating specials? If you have like 5 things on your menu that never change here, what are they?
So that's the perfect nachos. So each end, that was Dino's perfect nachos, legendary, and they're amazing. I know people are like, nachos, those are the coolest.
It's not just nachos.
Right, it's not just nachos.
Like, don't they load each individual chip?
Yep.
Yes, I remember, because when we came here for that event, we had them, and it's really nice, because you pick it up, and it's like your entire little serving is on this one chip for you. It's not like you have to, like, do a lot of scooping and stuff. So that's really nice.
So that's what I always tell people. It's like...
It's memorable, too.
Yeah.
Because
usually when you get nachos, you have a good chip, and then you have that chip that doesn't have anything on it. You're like, oh, it stinks. So it's nice to every bite you have the beef, the guacamole, jalapeno. We make our own hot sauce, and our hot sauce is fantastic. So, yeah.
So what else do you have that is going to be consistent on
your
menu?
The crab cakes, people love the crab cakes here.
Yes, your crab cakes are so good.
People love them, I'll tell you.
I'm glad that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, no, they're not going in. I mean, there's no point. I mean, the nachos, crab cakes, fried chicken.
Fried chicken?
Yeah, fried chicken.
What kind of fried chicken?
So it's beer battered fried chicken, and we do it's called sawmill gravy. So it's like a white gravy. If you would have on your traditional biscuits and gravy, but that is a favorite here, and it's on top of whipped potatoes and kale. So our kale is fantastic.
Okay, I know what I have to try here now.
It's pretty darn good.
I love beer battered fish,
Yeah.
so I need to try your beer battered chicken.
It's good.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and then we opening up the Fox Den. It's a very similar concept as Diamonds was. We just went in there, we gutted it out, made it a little bit nicer, cleaner, updated it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You made the bathroom renovation a priority.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, the bathroom. It was just fun. I mean, it was a busy bar. We built a busy bar in there towards the end. The owner just didn't put any money into it, so it needed some TLC, because with a busy bar, you have to constantly repair stuff. So we redid it. We redid everything. We painted the inside. We gutted the floors, the ceilings. Just redid the menu. So took a little bit of Street Grub's menu, so a little bit of street food, and a bar menu. Just kind of made it a little bit upscale, like pub fare. So yeah, cool.
Good job.
Yeah, so neat. We got to throw it a big festival.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so it's called Fox Fest. So there forever we had the St. Matthews Street Festival, which was fantastic, and they let me book the bands, and that was a lot of fun. And
are you booking bands for this?
Yeah, oh yeah, this is my event, the one coming up, the Fox Fest. So because St. Matthews, I reached out to them, and they haven't done it since the pandemic, and I don't know if it's coming back. And
so if it's to be, it's up to you.
Right, exactly. That's what I said. I was like, look, if we're going to keep this going, we better do it ourselves. So, yeah, so it's going to be Saturday, August 13th. We're going to have it's going to be in our parking lot. We're going to have 2 food trucks, beer trucks. Maker's Mark's bringing a bar out there. We're going to have a stage out there. We got 13 different bands, local bands playing. Starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, goes till 2 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, the bands will stop at 10:30 at night outside. Just noise. Respect for our neighbors.
There are people that will try to sleep nearby.
Yeah, I know. I think people have kind of got used to St. Matthews kind of on the weekends. Being a little guitar and drums and all that. I think they're used to that. So
cool.
But yeah, it's gonna be neat. It's gonna be. We have a band called Wildwood playing that was a pretty big country band, and they're doing one last show. So. Born Cross-Eyed, which is a great Grateful Dead cover band, very, very popular. Elephant Room, which is one of my favorite bands, local bands. They're a little bit of rock rap. We got a little bit of everything. We got Signal the Revolution, which is a rock band. Sleep Aora, which is the drummer from Flaw, which is a very popular band that come out of the 2000s from Louisville. So it's going to be fun.
Wow,
it's
that's a great assortment.
Yeah. T-shirts for sale, all kinds of stuff. First Fox Fest. It's going to be good.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And Apron Inc., of course, is going to be here. Gary Fox is right beside me, one of my good friends. He has an organization, Apron Inc., which is a great organization that helps out us service industry people when we get hurt.
So some of the proceeds from the festival will go to Apron Inc., which will then in turn support the restaurant employees and staff.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. It's like a full circle.
Absolutely. That's what we try to do.
That's wonderful.
Keep it in the family.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, Jared, thank you so much for meeting with me tonight and sharing your space with us and creating this wonderful space.
Absolutely.
So if you've not been to the Black Rabbit Speakeasy, you are missing out. So you need to check it out. Follow at Lou Food Reviews for more pictures. I'll be sharing more details about the upcoming Fox Fest. And then you have several restaurants that they can follow on social media if they want menu pictures that you've listed. The Lulu, Black Rabbit, and Equus Jacks. They all have, and the Fox Den.
And the Fox Den, yeah.
Did I leave anything out?
Nope. Lulu, Equus, Black Rabbit, Fox Den. Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. And we will see you in
For
the
now.
next episode of the Lou Review.
All right.
Bye.